Welcome everyone. Thank you all for being here on this beautiful rainy Thursday. Wish it was a little more sunny outside, but thank you for being here. And also want to say thank you to The Root. They are amazing, beautiful space. So this is the Builders Forum. It's really all about just builders coming together, people like Precious. You don't have to be an entrepreneur or a CEO. If you're doing something cool and you're building, this is what this platform is all about, to bring the community together so we can build something special. Today we have the pleasure of talking to our friend Precious with Loud Nerd. So as we talk, we'll keep it conversational. I do have a script. I cannot promise that I will stick to it, so we'll kind of just see how it goes. Precious, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Deion, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks again to The Root. I absolutely love coming out to this gorgeous space. Got a second tour today, so that was awesome. Thanks for that.
Yeah, for sure.
How was your day?
Good. It's funny, this is a total full circle moment because the first time we connected was actually upstairs. So here we are, first guest of the Builders Central Forum.
Yeah, I'm excited for being here. I appreciate it.
No. So as we kick off today, we would love to just learn a little bit more about you, Precious. Who are you? And then we'll talk more about your business. But I always like to allow people to get to know who you are, what's your story, what's your background, how did you get to where you are today?
Perfect. I'm like, that's such
Loaded
a loaded question.
Yeah.
I'm like, how far back do we go?
Take us back to the beginning.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking.
How about the beginning of my time here in Omaha?
Yeah. Sure.
So not quite born and raised, but definitely grew up here. Moved here just before my 10th birthday. So it's definitely home.
And where were you born at?
I was born in Liberal, Kansas, which most people haven't heard of. Lived in Wichita, Texas, Oklahoma, Des Moines, and then for whatever reason, Omaha became home forever. So
Omaha.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of sucks you in, and so have been here ever since. Grew up here. Spent my formative years here. My story is a very long one. I'd say it is very much a story of resilience and finding purpose in unexpected places. Spent much of my childhood, including when we first moved here to Omaha, unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess, however you look at it, but spent a lot of that time living in emergency shelters, including the Open Door Mission and Youth Emergency Services, which I am now the Vice President of the Board of Directors for. So talk about full circle moments. And so I think life leads us where we need to go. Also spent my life, much of it being undiagnosed, but it's definitely been quite the journey. But as a slang word or word on the street is ADHD, but autistic and ADHD individual. And that's definitely given me a very unique worldview. So it's kind of...
Sure. Well, thank you for your vulnerability and sharing that. I know it's not always easy to talk about that.
Yeah.
I feel like a thing I've been hearing a lot is neurospicy. And it's just like one of those things where it just sticks. I heard it once and now I can't unforget it.
Yes.
But talking a little bit about your adversity, how has that played into who you are, like what you've accomplished?
Yeah, absolutely. It sounds so cliche, but I very much believe that everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
I wouldn't be the person that I am today without each and every experience that I've experienced throughout my lifetime. And so definitely no regrets. And each experience, it's been its own unique lesson, and I definitely see it very much as a asset at this point in my life, even in my career. I have a very unique way of identifying and working through problems. You mentioned neurospicy, and I'm like, yes, it's comes with its challenges, but is definitely a great asset. Many people will see the forest, and it's like, yeah, I see the forest and the trees and the leaves, and the dirt, and the critters, and I can see those nuanced details that tend to get overlooked by other people.
For sure.
And it definitely leads to unique solutions for myself and my clients. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is, like, it kind of positions everyone differently. Like I've shared this with you, but I have MS, and having a disability, I think, gave me a unfair advantage because I just see the world so differently.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're at a disadvantage, or maybe you're neurospicy. I guess I'm kind of neurospicy. My immune system is screwed up. But,
Yeah.
There's true benefits to that. So Precious, you've done so much, from being on a nonprofit board, being an entrepreneur. At what point did you decide I'm going to be a builder? Your company is called Loud Nerd, which I love it. You know, it's not your stereotypical marketing consulting firm.
Right.
But at what point did you realize I'm going to build something different?
I mean, that's an interesting question to me. I feel like I've always been a builder. For as far back as I can remember, I mean, even into childhood. My brain is just wired to see a problem and to see gaps that need approaching, and it wants to build a bridge. You know, I want to find that solution. I want to build a better way, and so I'm like, I don't know, it's what I've always done.
Yeah.
You know, from the community work that I've done, even throughout my entire career, it's been a common thread.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's what I know, I guess.
Yeah, I love that. So when it comes to your company, you specialize in marketing and helping people find their voice.
Yes.
How has your experience helped you do that, and what are you kind of seeing in the marketing field as you work with companies, customers? Jamie told me you have some amazing cameras and you do 360 tours. So.
Yes. So speaking of the company name, Loud Nerd, it is very much a nod to my personality, very much owning who I am as an individual.
For sure.
Loud in the sense that I will always speak out about what I'm passionate about and what I believe in.
For sure.
No matter who's listening or if there is anyone listening, and so very loud in that way. Also very loud about you know, the brands that I work with and helping them find their voice and standing out in sometimes what seems like a very oversaturated industry.
Absolutely.
The nerd aspect comes in my unwavering ability to go down rabbit holes and you know, to find unique solutions to sometimes novel problems, and so putting those together. Also, I almost second-guessed that name when I left my corporate role and dove into full-time entrepreneurship. But then I don't know, I had a pep talk with myself and was like, you're not doing this. This is why we're leaving corporate America, so you can fully and unapologetically live and work in a way that works best for you.
For sure.
We're not going to put those guardrails on your business, starting with the name. And so,
Yeah, I love that.
yes, very, very proud of the name Loud Nerd. Sorry, I went on a rant. What was the second part of the question?
No, I love it, and this is like where we go off script.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even need that paper anymore. I haven't been following it anyway. But can you talk to us a little bit about your experience leaving the corporate world? My wife knows I'm a little crazy, and I did not love the corporate world.
Yes.
And we would love to hear about your experience.
Yes, I learned a ton working in corporate America. You know, corporations get large for a reason. They have SOPs for everything. They have a system, it's well documented. They have, you know, a proven strategy. And so all of that was a great takeaway from that part of my career. But being neurospicy, being forced to sit in a cubicle that I still have nightmares about that sometimes. Like the thought of just
the corporate cage.
Yes,
Literally.
I don't want to go back in that cage. Working in offices with no windows. You know, the forced camaraderie. We appreciate you through pizza-ness of it all. Yes, very much not the best environment for me to spread my wings, and so it was always the goal to work as an entrepreneur, especially in a creative field as I do now.
For sure.
And so, yeah, that was always the goal. However, I tend to be somewhat calculated and risk averse, and so making that leap is terrifying. You're leaving the benefits and the financial stability into the world of what if. But yes, it turned out to be the greatest decision I ever made, and probably should have made it a few years sooner. So.
No, I love that, and you're speaking my language. It's funny. A good friend of mine once told me there are builders and maintainers. I'm very much so the builder. My wife is like the maintainer, so she helps I'll say temper my risk level down a little bit because I would bet the house on my dreams and my goals. So
It's gonna work out.
But possibilities, right? That excites me. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, I like to, I'm more controlled chaos. I definitely will take a risk, but it's gonna be so calculated. I'm gonna have spreadsheets and comparison charts, and yes.
That's awesome, calculated risk.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to someone that works a corporate job, they're thinking about entrepreneurship, but they're so afraid, so they're I just can't do it, but I also have this vision, I want to be loud, but I'm also contained right now?
Yes, been there, done that. Get out there and do it in whatever way you can. Even if it starts as a small side hustle, something that you're doing at nights and weekends, in a small way, do it. Don't get caught up in the analysis by paralysis. That was what was holding me back for so long.
For sure.
And so that's probably my number one form of advice, just find a way to do it. A business plan is very important. However, it is a living document that's going to continue to evolve
For sure.
as you and your business evolves. And so don't get caught up on writing the perfect 40-page business plan, Precious. Actually get out there and start doing it, business.
Doing it, yeah.
And then surrounding yourself with others who have done it. You know, the conversation you and I had when we first met, it was great. Just talking to another entrepreneur that's at a similar stage in business as I am, and bouncing ideas off one another. It's wonderful, and you need that. So yeah, get out, talk to others, mingle, but do it.
Yeah, I couldn't, I have to second that. I feel like when we met, we had this instant synergy, same thought process.
Yes.
Plug for the Root here. That's what's happening here in Omaha at the Root, and that's why we wanted to start the Builder Central Forum. So shout out to the Root and our friends back there, and Val, the audience members.
Love it. And I love this. I love this forum. I love what's happening at the Root. I wasn't born here, but I'm Omaha is my home. I'm not going anywhere. I try to do everything I can to help Omaha reach its full potential.
For sure.
And so being a part of a very collaborative space like this means everything to me, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you for being here. This is
this
amazing.
is wonderful.
And that's a good segue. Omaha's growing, we're building.
Yes.
What would you like to see Omaha build? What would take us to that next level as a city and really as a community?
I love seeing spaces like this one. This is huge. This is a huge investment for, startups, solopreneurs, small businesses, tiny teams. We need more supportive spaces like this.
For sure.
It's very accessible. A lot of us who are still in a more startup phase can't take on that massive overhead of having a brick and mortar building and all the fun costs that come with that. And so having spaces like the Root is huge. I love that Omaha is finally getting with the times, and we have co-working spaces. We're starting to see more green and outdoor spaces. So that's wonderful to see. The other thing, and you and I kind of touched on this a while, it's a weird, somewhat unrelated rant that I go on, but just living here in Nebraska, I would love for us to build a bridge between that large divide that's urban and rural.
Absolutely.
We live in a state where agriculture is the biggest industry. It's so important throughout the state, not only in rural Nebraska, but it has a huge impact on us in cities like Omaha and Lincoln. And they are currently experiencing a huge, labor shortage and brain drain issue, whereas in a place like Omaha, we have lots of individuals that are looking for employment. And so how do we introduce people in the cities that are underemployed to opportunities in ag? And it's not just working on a farm. You can do anything in ag.
Well, ad tech is a huge thing right now.
Yes. You can be a photographer in ag. You can, just anything you can imagine you can do in agriculture. And so, just kind of spreading the word about that.
No, I love that. And it's such a massive problem to solve.
Yes.
It's funny, I'm a city guy. I grew up in Omaha. I met someone this week that's a rancher, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but I said, bro, what's the difference between a farmer and a rancher?
Yeah.
And it's like, I had no idea, and it's so simple. Like, farmers have crops, ranchers have livestock. Didn't know that, right? But as a city person, you just don't get exposure to that kind of stuff.
I remember my first time on a farm, I was way too old, and I'm like, wow, outdoors, like everything was fascinating to me, because yes, I spent my entire life in the city. I had never been exposed to that. I realized that I love horses and alpacas, and
So can you ride a horse?
No, but I need to make more time for that in my life. Yes, I have recently discovered that I love them, and the next step is to start riding them. But
well, now you put that out there, and it's on camera, so you have to learn how to ride a horse.
Yes, if anybody wants to expose your girl to horse riding lessons, I'm here for it. So.
Yeah, I might start with the pony.
A little
the horses,
I know, they're such majestic creatures, but I love that they respond to you. If you come at them with anxiety, they hold up a mirror to what's going on within you. They get anxious and they're like, what's happening? And what are we afraid of? Like, is there, a predator nearby? And so it reminds me to better manage my emotions. And I appreciate that.
Oh, it's so cool. Who would think like an animal can hold up a mirror, but they really do feed off of your energy, kind of like people. So.
Absolutely.
Last thing I'll ask you, Precious, what advice would you give to someone that's just going through a rough time, whether they're neurospicy, they're diagnosed with MS, or maybe they have perfect health and they're just afraid? And I'll also give a shout out to our friend Wilson here, who wrote an incredible book that's called Marked by Adoption, right? Being in the system, and I won't tell your story, Wilson, but it's just one of those things, he didn't allow it to limit him. It actually was the catalyst for him to do some amazing work. So just any general advice you would give to people that see this?
For being afraid to lean into...
Be loud.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Okay, be loud. I love it. You'd be surprised by how many people respond to it. We get caught up in our heads, being afraid of what others are going to think, how we're going to be perceived, and whatnot. And how other people think and feel about you is none of your business. That's a them thing. You can't control that. But B, I think the majority of people are also caught up in their heads and also afraid of how they're being perceived and what others think of them, to the point that there's not a lot of room for thinking about random people they encounter throughout the day. So I think we're being judged a lot less. And so just keeping that in mind and giving ourselves grace. But also remembering that people, especially nowadays in this social media world that we live in, crave authenticity. And so meeting an individual who is living loud and who is leaning into themselves fully and unapologetically is often well received. And so,
Well, I'll wrap us by saying be loud, live your fullest potential, and be unapologetic about who you are. As you said, Precious, sometimes we have that like grandiose perspective, like, oh, they're gonna see, I don't know, my pants, the holes in my socks, or my pimple, or whatever it is. But the reality is people are thinking about themselves more than anything. So don't be afraid to just be loud and be yourself. So
absolutely.
With that, I would love to open it for questions. This is all of Precious's contact information in her picture. By the way, you should have saw the AI one. I should have put that one on there. ChatGPT will make up a person, I swear. But questions.
I know you have involvement with the 500 Millennials Club, and you contribute a lot to the Omaha community in that way. Can you touch a little bit on that?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. I can't forget about my 500 millennials homies.
Yeah.
Yes, so I am one of the administrators of a online community called 500 Millennials at Omaha. It's, at this point, a very ironic name because we're about 10,000 deep. There's a lot more than 500 of us. But I don't know, it was either laziness or millennials' love of irony that we just kept the name. But yes, it is a forum designed to, try to motivate our peers, other millennials, and honestly, we don't discriminate. We have people from every age group, but to encourage the members to get involved in the community, to find ways to give back to the community, to get civically engaged in the community. We do a lot to try to educate on local politics. People have strong opinions about the national stuff, but it's not what we're here for. We're here for Omaha, and so doing what we can to, we actually have a podcast that I co-host, interviewing local politicians, trying to educate on what various offices do within the local structure, and yeah, it's a fun group. Also, it's a great way to learn about things that are going on throughout Omaha, events. It's an amazing way to network. I can't tell you how many wonderful people, some of them I'm now like great friends with, that I've met through the group. So yeah, definitely check it out. It's on Facebook. Yeah. Yes.
So you wear a lot of hats in your day-to-day life. How do you remain authentic in your outward perspective, but also inside?
I don't know. You want to know what came to my head? I was like, I just risen with the tism. That's literally where my brain went. Yeah, no, it's that. It's a very odd. Obviously, every person's different, but in general, autistic people do tend to be very honest and authentic. And so, yeah, I don't know, it comes very naturally to me, I guess.
Love that. Wilson, yeah.
So you do a lot. Like, what do you do for you? Like, how do you recharge? How do you kind of find your center?
And we're going to fact check you on this one. We'll ask.
Is
this true?
He is here, and he told me earlier today that when I go out for fun, it's work related, like tonight. So, I don't know. I do what I love.
That's fair.
I've recently, thanks to this one, gotten into fishing. So I have a hobby that I have not monetized. It is just for fun and relaxation, and I'm getting good at it, yes. And we're very competitive.
That's funny. Well, next is horseback riding.
Exactly, that'll be the next one, so yeah.
Love it. All right, Glenn.
What are you doing with the Open Door mission right now? And how can we help with the Open Door mission?
Yes, so I currently am not working with them on anything. Something that's kind of in the works. Every holiday season they do a adopt a family program, and so with the 500 Millennial Group, that's something that we've participated with in the past, raising funds and doing lots of Christmas shopping for the kiddos. Yeah, I love the kiddos. I call them snooks, like snookies. Precious loves the snooks, so yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Cool. Any final questions, comments, thoughts? Cool. Well, with that, thank you everyone for coming out. This is the first of many. We are building something special here. Precious, thank you for being on and being the inaugural guest. You're amazing. I knew that from the moment we met. Jamie, thank you for the connection, and let's just keep building in Omaha. So with that, we are officially wrapped.